Well, hello. Hopefully some of you have come in from the beautiful weather we've got outside and are going to be joining me. I am a minute or so early, so who knows. Well, bonus is we're connected on both. So now we'll just have to wait and see if anybody's going to join me. Fingers crossed there are a few of you there. For some reason the comments aren't coming up if you are there. So hello if you're there, and if you're not, why not? Right. So we will just hang around here. So how's everybody's day been? What have you been up to? If you are watching and joining me, please comment so that I know I'm not on my own. Otherwise I'll just carry on my own and you can watch me back later. Oh, YouTube is good. And Facebook hopefully is good as well. Fingers crossed there are a few more coming to say hello. Hello Amanda, hello Chris. So that means we're good to go. So how's everybody been? I'm going to get rid of a couple of these things that are floating around, and I'm sure you all know who I am by now because you're watching me. Right, so tonight we are going to be doing a little bit more with our new Christmas release. We have TV next Tuesday, the 15th. So if you missed our last Facebook Live, I will quickly run through the new goodies. And then we've got a couple of samples to show you, not masses. Poor Hazel's been a bit poorly and I've just been rushed off my feet, end of VAT quarter. And like I always say I'm not going to do it, and I always do. I've left it all to the last, to do it all at once. So I have all the 3 months to do it once. And every time I do it, I say I'm not going to do that next time. And every time I do it, I do. Chris, it's never too hot. Hi Heather, hi Michelle, hi Kathy. Oh, how nice, Michelle. If it's a nice place, ping me email me where you are, because we're looking for somewhere to go. Hi Tina. Right, so, and Michelle, I was going to ask you if you're feeling better, but Michelle's in Mallorca, so or Menorca. So not Mallorca, Menorca. So I'm sure she's feeling much better. Good evening, Kerry. Right, so let's go through. Hi, Maria. Right, so let's go through our new release in case you missed our last Facebook Live. Amanda, he's finally got the boot off. He has driven the car twice now. So yeah, we were on the mend. It's going to be a while, I think, before he makes it to the van, but we're getting there. Hi Jackie, hi Carol, and hi other Tina. Right, so what was I saying? Right, so we're going to have a quick look. So let's home in on that a little bit. We're a little bit far away. There we go, that'll do. So first of all, we've got our mistletoe dies. So I've also got it cut out so you can see. Good evening, Deborah. Sitting in the garden watching, how nice. Hopefully you've got a nice big glass of wine or something to go with it. So this is what the mistletoe die looks like cut out. So you get the big bow, you get the mistletoe sprig, you get the Merry Christmas, and you get all the berries loose. And then we have holly sprigs. And again, I have that. I haven't got enough room. I've got a great big desk and I've still not got enough room. It's bonkers, isn't it? So holly sprigs. So Michelle's been to the same hotel 7 times, so I'm taking it. It's a nice hotel, Michelle. So we've got the holly sprigs, and this is what they're like cut out. So you get the 2 in the pack for that one. And then, hi Dawn, it's never too hot. I love it when it's like this. What I don't like is being inside making Christmas cards when it's 30 degrees outside. Inside making Christmas cards when it's minus 30 degrees is fine. But maybe we'll craft outside tomorrow. We'll see. So then we have our snowflake panel and border dies. Good evening, Carol. Hi, Pat. Hi, other Pat. And hi, Janice. Everyone's coming in tonight. So, as I say, the snowflake border and panel. This one's ideal for the little dinky cards, and you'll see Hazel's done a really cute little one with this one. Yeah, my ironing's not going to get done. Carol says she's left the ironing LOL. My iron is not going to get done. So this is the Christmas floral decorations that we used on the last live. So you get the bits that you can matte layer it with as well. So you get your bow and your layer, you get your bow and your holly and your layer, and you get your pine cones, your bow, your foliage, and your layer. So you get all of those in this set. So you get 6 dies in this one. And then we have got our nesting hexagon dies, which again you saw last time. So obviously you get the 3 different sizes, and then you get the centers obviously that come out of the middle. And then last but not least, we have our snowflake background die. And that's what it looks like. Now, I did tell everybody last time, it's a big die. This is the size of the die. So it will need a couple of times through your machine. Take it out, turn it round, and run it back through again. And my mum's been playing with it with some bubble wrap. I haven't had a chance to play with it yet, but she said with the bubble wrap, it's amazing. Apparently, if you run it through a die cut machine. Mind boggles, I know. It is a massive die, Amanda, but well worth the effort, I think. So you will see a few of those on a couple of samples I'm going to show you. So poor Hazel's been ever so poorly, but still managed to get me some samples over, bless her heart. She's a good lady. So first off, we are using that fabulous snowflake background, and she's used Christmas quotes in here, and she's used Versamark Twilight for the stamping of the message. So she's actually put she's put blue card behind and some acetate, and then the die cut over the top, and that's all it needs. How cute is that? A couple of little gems on there, and it is, oh, she hasn't told me, it's a 7x7, I think. Yes, 7x7 card. So that's the first one. Now this one is using the same die, but what she's done is she's just cut some of the individual snowflakes off the big die. So when it's in this form, it's this die, and she's used a few different ones off here, trying to get it, working out which ones they are, maybe a slightly different approach. So we've got this one. So yes, she's used loads and loads of these fabulous individual pieces and just popped it onto a piece of white cardstock. So just by cutting the individual snowflakes, it gives it a whole different look, but still looks really, really effective. Same card, same die, 2 completely different cards. And this one, I believe, is a 5x5, but we'll just check. It's probably nearer a 6. It's 5 3/4 inch. So that would technically be a 6. So this envelope would be a 6. So that's a cute little card. And she's done that on like a matte mirror card, if that makes sense. It's not quite pearl, and it's not, but it's not mirror card. So then we've got this mistletoe next, and then she's got the sentiment from, and I'm trying to think, I think it was from, she'll tell me on the back. Sentiments from Christmas Letters that we launched. Oh, I think that's about 3 or 4 years old. Hi, Margaret. I'm glad you got them, Margaret. So this one, Hazel has used the brick wall stencil, which is out of stock at the moment, but it is coming back. The sentiments from Christmas Letters, and it's been coloured with, she doesn't mention, a mixture of different inks. So she's done the mistletoe onto white to start with. We've got a lovely big bow again there. Hi, Eileen. The brick wall in the background, and then the berries just in plain white cardstock. Looks really effective. Again, that's a 5x5, so classed as a 6x6 card, 5 3/4. Classed by 6x6 card as a 6x6. But if you didn't put the bow onto foam pads, it would all be one level, so it would go as a standard letter, just top tip. Don't add the dimension and it will go as a standard letter. Another one using the mistletoe and just red and green cardstock and the Christmas quotes on this one. Really effective. You don't need to do anything, just some, I think she's inked card. Oh no, green and red card. So just using plain cardstock that she's already got and just 2 bunches in there, which is effective, and then the sentiment from our Christmas quotes. Then we have holly sprigs and the nesting hexagons. Again, using the sentiment from the mistletoe. So she's cut the sentiment out. Navy blue, just left the holly white. It works perfectly on. Now, when I designed this, it works amazingly on the big one, but it also, because it's got some movement in it, you can make it fit the smaller and the really small hexagon dies as well. So that's really simple, easy card to make. Great batch making card, this one. Then we have another one using the holly sprigs, white cardstock coloured with zig colour pens. Nesting hexagons, and the sentiment again is from Christmas letters. Now this is really effective because Hazel has used the small hexagon die and then cut it again with a different colour, so she could use the silver centre, and then she's layered it on top of the next size up centre. So let me grab my dies a second just to explain it, just so that you know. So card, Hazel has cut it in white for the outside, then cut it again in silver, which gives her the silver centre, and that's been layered on top of the medium-sized centerpiece, and then used the holly sprig on there, and the sentiment is from Christmas letters. I hope that made sense, everybody. Then we have our snowflake panel and border, and she's used again the sentiment from Christmas letters. This is a really effective card. So Hazel has inked up the background. It reminds me of those knitted sweaters, if that makes sense. So she's inked up a background, and then she has layered the border onto a piece of cardstock and just put spacing between it, and again coloured it. So I would imagine she's done a coloured background, a blended background first, and then die cut it from that. I might be wrong. She may have been really clever and inked as she's gone along, but that's how I would imagine that's been done. And the sentiment again is from Christmas letters. But again, that's a small little card. If you didn't raise that centre, Evening Carol, it would fit as a standard letter. This one is again the snowflake border and panel and border, and the Christmas quotes sentiment, and she's used Honeydew Cast silver embossing powder for the sentiment. So this is the one I was talking about, and how cute this is. So this is like a matte mirror card behind. This is the panel, and she's cut the panel out of the piece of cardstock she was going to use. So it kind of looks like it's been layered, but it hasn't. It's just underneath. So she's put the silver underneath. Then she's put a layer of the card on the top that she's cut the panel out of. So she's positioned it, and then she's stuck that panel over the top. Again, just a couple of little pearls in the centre there. And then the centre, but I'm trying to do it so it doesn't bounce the light. And that one is 6.5 inches, so that may well fit as a standard letter. But again, if you didn't raise the level with the gems, that would go through. See, I'm trying to save you money everywhere here, people. So this one is Christmas floral decorations, and the sentiment is from Christmas letters. Such a simple card, just a silver square. She stuck that on the top on a piece of white cardstock. How simple and effective is that? Really, really pretty. And then another one using the floral decorations. Let's have a look. And the sentiment is again from the Mistletoe collection, and she's used this tartan stencil in the background for embossing. So we'll bring it up a bit closer, and hopefully you can, if I block some light off it, you'll see that she's run the background just through through the die cut machine, which is our tartan stencil. She's used her own oval dies, just popped the sentiment in there, and she's matted and layered this bow so that the bow pops out a little bit more. Again, a really cute little card. And then last but not least, the one that you saw me make last week, and I'm still not liking the colour on the camera. It looks much greener in person, but you will get the idea. And that is using the floral decorations, the hexagon die, nesting dies, and our Christmas, Merry Christmas from the top, from the Mistletoe collection. So that's all the sample cards. As I said, poor Hazel's been proper poorly, so she's been a little trooper and got through all of that for us. So we are going to do quite a quick demo tonight because it is warm. I've got a tiny little fan here which I may have to turn around in a minute because I'm going to be using some embossing powders, and can you imagine what that's going to be like with a fan? And I might give you a sneak peek of some of the things I've been working on for our demos for TV as well. Let's pull ourselves out again a little bit, just so that we can get the whole thing in. Right, so what do we need tonight? Really easy, an 8x8 card, blank, some offcuts of red mirror card, some offcuts of white card, and some offcuts of green card. How difficult is that? This is a really easy way of using up your, just going to put these bits out of the way, using up all your bits that you don't need, if that makes sense. All the little bits that you've chopped off on your cardstock, this is a great way of using them up. So there are a couple of things that I am going to be using today. I'm going to take this one off again. A couple of things I'm using today that haven't got a new one of them, because I didn't know I was going to be using them until 4:30 this afternoon. So we will be using our new Christmas die mistletoe. So our mistletoe dies. We will also be using, which I've already taped onto my card so that it was done ready to roll, and I've just tipped everything everywhere, which is not what you want to be doing. So we will be using our Dottie circle stencil, which you actually can't see. There you go. And I've already taped it onto my 8x8 card. Eileen, Martin's ankle is a lot better, thank you very much. And Amanda, I agree. And Hazel, and Tina, and Mum. Hazel, you've been amazing, thank you. So we will be using our Dottie circle stencil. We will also be using our sticky glue that comes in the two sizes. We are using white Opal embossing powder, which is a white powder with a glitter in it. We'll be using Versamark ink, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it. That's not bad, is it? And as I say, all your offcuts. So be ready with your offcuts. Save them all. So, as I said, I have already stuck this on my 8x8 card. So this needs to be run through the die cut machine to give it an embossed look. Now I'm going to try and do this on the table without it wobbling, with you all watching. No pressure. It's going to wobble. You know it's going to wobble. Amanda, I have not had time to do mica powders, I'm afraid, darling. We will get them. We will use them. But it's just not going to be this week. I know I said I would try and do them this week, and I just haven't had time. I've just managed to move my die at the same time. So bear with me. I promise I will bring them. I just haven't had time. A bit like everybody else, my mica powders are a bit buried. I haven't used them for ages, and I was looking forward to using them, but obviously tonight we are doing our Christmas dies. So I've taped it onto my card blank. Now, one other top tip I'm going to share with you is I always put the long bit of my card, if I'm doing it directly onto my card blank, through my die cut machine already. Don't know if I should or I shouldn't. Right, so I am taping this. I've taped this down as little as possible onto my card because I'm trying to show you and be able to work this and do everything else. Because it's quite a thick card and I'm putting this through. Good evening, Joan. I've positioned it in the middle of my card so that it will give us a frame, because it's going to push that that stencil in, and it will indent all the way around. So it will actually frame your design. But you also want to try and keep that on there so it doesn't move. And when you take it off, you want to try and keep it on there. That's the hardest bit. Tina, no, it wasn't. She used bubble wrap to die cut the die. And I haven't had a chance to see what she was doing with it. But I think she literally put it in as part of the sandwich, which helped release the die. So we'll investigate. Now I've had to stand up, everybody, because I've got to use myself to push this through when it goes through. Oh, come on, machine. And I'm right-handed and I'm using my left so I don't bash the camera. There we go. It's gripped now. Fine. Come on. Oh, for goodness sake. Why is this sandwich not working? Bear with me, people. That might be why. I've got one too many embossing pads. There we go. Now it's going to work. I've still got one of my cutting mats under there. So we're just going to run this through, and I'm going to have to move it backwards a bit because we're going to crash into everything that's behind my camera. And hopefully if I run it back this way I can grab it. Oh, I don't think I went all the way through. I missed a section. There we go. We're back. I think I missed a section. Now I know it's gone all the way through. Ladies, I'll investigate that question further, and maybe my mum, if she's watching, can answer that question for us. I didn't get a chance to see what she was doing. Life's been a bit crazy here this week. Right, so, as I say, try and keep that on there if you can. If you can't, don't panic. The reason I'm saying that is because we are going to ink through this. So my stencil is still on here. I'm going to flip it up. Very small amount. Yep. So it has embossed. So, as I said, we're going to take our Versamark ink while the stencil is still on here. Now be careful when you do this. You don't want to go around the edges. If you do, then just do the whole edge so that you cover the whole thing. But we are just inking through the stencil while it's still on there with the Versamark ink. I probably should have said to you to anti-static it first, but I forgot. You haven't opened them yet, Tina, my goodness. You're a good lady. Would have been in that package. So make sure you get plenty of ink on here. Now, the Versamark ink is obviously a sticky ink, so getting it off your stencil, don't leave it on there for too long. If you're going to do this, rinse your stencil off afterwards, or do as I'm going to do, which is, so you've inked it through and you're going to remove your stencil. So this is going to be pretty sticky. Going to be pretty sticky. So the one suggestion I would do is, if you have it, stamp cleaner is great for taking the stickiness off here. So I'm just going to grab a piece of kitchen paper. Oh, hope doggy's all right. So there you go, ladies. My mother has said she put the bubble wrap on top of the card that was cutting out the die. Okay, so I'm assuming you put the die, then the bubble wrap, then the card, then the bubble wrap. We'll find out. Maybe we'll demo that next time. Right, so that's just a stamp cleaner all over that. And then I'm going to use a wet wipe because I haven't got my wet cloth here just to wipe over the top of that. Now I'm not in any panic at the moment because the embossing powder has, or ink has hopefully still stayed wet. I probably should have done that before I did this bit, but I didn't, so hey ho. Right, that's hopefully going to be my stencil cleaned. Hi Linda. Right, so now we are going on with our sparkle powder. So this is our white opal. We're going straight over the top of this. I am going to just turn my fan around because I'm not that brave. Just for a moment. It's a huge fan. You'd be amazed. I pinched it off my mum today. So I'm just sprinkling that white opal all over that dye. It's not a dye at all. All over that stencil that has embossed through. Now, I don't know if you can really see that, but hopefully in a moment you will. And then I'm going to break all of my rules because I'm actually going to heat from above on this one. Purely because it's not a biggie if any of the embossing powder moves around. It just adds a bit more sparkle. I'm glad they've arrived safe and sound, Linda. Everybody's goodies was arriving today. Hi Betty, we'll let you be late, we don't mind. We haven't missed massive amounts. So if you missed it, this was my mum's answer to how you use the bubble wrap. Right, so as I mentioned, we've got this heated on there and I will show you in a minute. Bear with me, we're just going to heat this up. And as I said, I'm going to do it from above because it doesn't really matter if any of this bounces around. I don't need a super smooth finish, I just need it to heat quickly. And you'll notice with the embossing powders, the white opal, it's almost like the glitter becomes more prominent. Almost, I would like to say it's like it flips over. It clearly doesn't flip itself over, but it does become a little bit more prominent as you've heated it. Because white on white isn't easy. They've been sent, Carol, so hopefully they'll arrive soon. Good evening, Angela. We'll let you arrive late, we don't mind. It looks like I'm just heating absolutely nothing, doesn't it? It is white cardstock with a white opal embossing powder over the top. By the looks of it, I've got everything. And if I haven't, it doesn't really matter. Right. So as I said, right, I'm going to whip that one back off. I've got to remember how to take that off now. Like that. So as I said, can you see the sparkle on it a bit more now? Yes, a little bit. But you can also see that it's indented around the edge of your card, so it's given it a frame without actually giving it a frame, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's all heated. There's a couple of bits there I've missed. I don't think there's ever an end to this. This uses for this particular stencil. I've used it so much. Right, so that is the basic card. Now, obviously, as I say before, if you can, leave it for a little while and let it settle. And it will relax a little bit so you won't have so much movement in your card. So here's one I made earlier. And you can see I made it earlier and it's now completely flat again. So that's what I mean by giving it time to relax. If you can give it time to relax, you can get that sparkle on there. Hopefully you're seeing that. Right, so next we're going to make our own embossing, sparkling paper. Embossing, where did that come from? So we're going to take a piece of white scrap. I don't need much. I am literally going to be cutting out my white berries with this. So again, take your Versamark ink over your white cardstock. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Hi, Liz. And then we are going to sprinkle. I should have probably put a piece of kitchen paper underneath that when I was doing that. Never mind, we'll clean them out. Putting the ink all over, or the powder all over the top. So this again is the white opal, and there, see, look, didn't move the fan. I knew I would pay for it. A little light tap so that gets rid of it. Now be aware that will mean that you use a little bit more of your powder when you do it like that way, but it saves you a fortune in white glittery cardstock. So win-win. Whichever one works for you. I'm just going to wipe this because obviously I've inked that cardstock up on there, and the embossing powder that flies around will stick to that too. So we'll just wipe over the top of that. Pop the lid back on this because you know I'm going to throw it around everywhere. Get rid of that extra bit of glitter that's all over the place. I've got to do a video for TV after this, Facebook Live tonight, and I'm going to have glitter everywhere, aren't I? Right. So now we are going to heat this. Again, you don't have to heat it from the bottom. I just need to get that embossing powder melted so that I've got a sparkly cardstock to run through my die cut machine. If you hold it at the right angle, you will be able to see that that colour changes. Not particularly good viewing, I know, but I needed you to see how you do this. And it means you get to use up all those little pieces that you've got lying around, all those odd shapes and sizes that we all keep. Don't tell me you don't, because we all do. Might be the right size for something someday. That's what I always say. So then we've got a bit of sparkly paper. You see? And now we are going to grab the other die cut machine because it's a little bit smaller and a little bit easier to use. Right. And we are going to my well-loved, very old die cut machine, but it still works. So we're going to take our berries die. I always have the rule flat to the mat, that way I don't cut into my mats more than I need to. But again, it's your choice, it's yours, so you do what you want to do. So flat to the mat, put my cardstock on there and run that through. And then hopefully all our berries are cut out. And then we've got our sparkle. Oh, one flipped over here somewhere. There we go. That one was alive. And if you're doing lots of these, just do a whole sheet. Tina says that's a really clever idea. She would never have thought of doing that. Well, that's why we do these things, Tina, so that you get to learn these extra little tips and tricks. So I'm going to pop those to one side, but I'm not going to put the machine away because we're going to get everything else cut out while we are at it. If I can reach it. That is. Ugh. So I've just got a scrap piece of cardstock that we are going to cut our... Oh, where is everything? That we're going to cut our actual mistletoe foliage out of. See, I knew everybody has a drawer like me. So flat to the mat, and I want my cardstock. So this is a double-sided piece, so it's just on this side is a load of doodled stuff. It's just a double-sided, I think it's a Bo Bunny piece of paper, cardstock. So pop that on there. Again, just run that through the die cut machine. Oh, the paper moved around because I haven't taped it. That's my own fault. We'll get the idea. So you'll be able to use all your little bits and pieces up now, Carol. Who says mistletoe has to be green? Nobody. It can be any colour you want it to be. So got our mistletoe cut out. So we've got our berries, our mistletoe, all from scraps of pieces of paper. And then we're going to do a bow. I'm going to do 2 bows, but I've only got 1 die, so we will do 2 bows and run it through twice. So flat to the mat, bow on here. In fact, if we were really clever, we'll get the Merry Christmas cut out at the same time. Let's see how wrong this goes, shall we? Oh, nearly put the wrong way around on that. So I always say flat. I'm always saying it to myself, flat to the mat in my head. And that way, to this point, I've only ever once cut through a magnetic sheet. I've only ever once cut through my magnetic board that I've got under here. So we've got our Merry Christmas cut out. And remember I said last time that your dot and your C would be attached on your die, and yes they are. I get rid of these 2 so that I don't lose them, because they're going to be the types of dies that I'm going to lose. Ooh, we cut that a bit fine. I cut it a bit fine, look. I really did cut it fine. But we need a second bow, so I'm just going to run that through a second time. Now, you may or may not see this demo on TV as well. If you do, you have to act all surprised. You've never seen it before. If you watch our shows, that is. I'm assuming most of you do catch us at some point on the TV. Talking of which, that is next Tuesday the 15th. And we are on at 1 PM and 6 PM. Lots of hanging around the green room for us then. They've got a new sofa in there, so I'll take that. So they are our 2 bows. So that's everything cut out that I want for this particular card. All done from scraps, and hopefully means there's no wastage. What's Pat's put? There's so much mistletoe up in the trees up here in the Loughborough, and when we moved into the bungalow 2.5 years ago, there was a crabapple tree in the front garden, right in the middle is mistletoe. Love it. Oh, it's not all going to fit up there. That's really nice, Pat. So now you could do from our house to yours with mistletoe, couldn't you? So as I've said, this is a really simple, easy card to make. So I'm going to take one of the bows and I'm just going to shape the edges just slightly. Not masses, just to give it a little bit of dimension. The fold lines are already there for you. So your fold lines are here. They're already cut in there. So you're just going to literally bend that up a little bit. Just to give it a little bit of dimension. You're not giving it huge amounts. Now, this is our mistletoe already cut out. But I have already done one that I have stuck all the berries onto in advance. Just because you didn't want to, you don't need to see me cutting out or sticking on a load of berries. So all these berries are now all cut out, ready to go. Our bows are done, our mistletoe is done. Our sentiment is cut. And I'll pop those to one side. And hopefully the fan doesn't blow them all away. I'm a huge fan. Right, so we're going back to our basic card. And you can see the original card is already, the one that you saw me making, is already starting to relax. So if you can just have time to leave them for a little while just to relax, then they make working with them so much easier. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to stick our mistletoe on here, and then we are going to take our Merry Christmas, or our bow first, I think. Take the bow first. And so I'm going to stick the flat one on here, and we'll stick that down flat. So if you didn't want any extra dimension on this, then just go with one bow. That's entirely up to you how you want to do this. Now I'm going to try a tip tonight that my mum again saw on, I think she saw somebody else using it on Facebook. So hopefully this will work. It's a new one on me as well, ladies, but we're going to try it because sticking little dies down is always really awkward, isn't it? So she's got one of these, which is like a pastry brush, the silicone pastry brushes, and she just cut the ends off so they're shorter. And apparently that makes it easier to stick glue onto your die cuts. You're getting them all tonight, aren't you? But you and I both trying this one out live on Facebook Live. So let's give it a go. And then obviously we've got our Merry Christmas that I'm going to put top and bottom here, and this one in the middle, just to give it a little bit of dimension. You don't have to do that extra bow if you don't want to. And we'll pop the base card off to one side. We'll squirt a little bit of glue. See, it must be something that's going round, man. So I'll put a little bit of glue down, and we'll see what happens. And whether I do it right, that's another thing. Mum will need a pay rise. She will, won't she? So, well, I guess it does work. I'm probably being a bit more generous than I need to be with the glue on this, but see, everybody's seen it. Why haven't I seen it yet? So I'm going to position it, but I'm not going to press it down too hard yet because I want to make sure it's where I want it to be. I am just going to use a normal amount of glue. On my bow. And again, I'm not going to press it down hard yet. Just holding it in place. You're paid in kindness, Mum. My mum has written on there what's pay. You're paid in kindness and love. There you go. Kindness and love, Mum. So again, I haven't stuck these down hard. I probably shouldn't do this on the mat that I'm working on. That might be my top tip for this. Are we straight, do you think? I told you it was a quick, easy card to make tonight. What a great batch card this would be though, hey? We can't claim it, Margaret. It is a brilliant way of putting the glue on, I'll agree. But we can't claim it. Mum saw it on Facebook and tried it, and away we go. Are we on straight? Is my Mary on straight? I got carried away. Well, it's as straight as it's going to be, I guess, because it's all decided that's where it's sticking. So we'll stick everything down. Press that bow at the bottom down harder because it's coming up. And there we have it. Nice, simple, easy, clean cut. You are so right, Tina. So Tina and Amanda both attend, or both Tinas are on here, and Amanda attend our workshops at Rougham. And it's like you move in sometimes when people arrive at our workshops, because my list is long for you to bring, but it's always just like general craft stuff. But if you've got 2 sizes of this, 2 sizes of that, Amanda and Tina usually have both sizes with them just to make sure they've covered all bases. So there we go. Quick, simple, clean, easy card to make. And as I said, when you run it through the die cut machine to get your embossed dots, you need to position it. I'm trying to get the light so you can see the frame, so that you've given it an even frame all the way around if you're using the 8x8 card, because it will frame your image for you. Again, trying to catch the light on that card is there. I think that's about the best I'm going to get. If I put my hand there, can you see it? No, it makes it worse. So it's got a frame all the way around, but a really simple card to make. And you can send that card to absolutely anybody. It doesn't have to, just because it's mistletoe, it doesn't mean anything these days. Doesn't mean you're going to go and kiss them all, does it? So the top tip with the glue brush does work, but we've got to remember to wash the brush. Amanda needs a bigger car. So yeah, that's using our fabulous new Holly, where did that come from? Mistletoe die, which comes like so. And that's what you get in it. So we've used everything in it. So we'll just quickly run through the new ones again for you. I'll pop that to one side. So we've got the mistletoe die. If I do it like this, it'll work, won't it? We have got our snowflake background die. I'm glad you liked it, Joan. Then we have our nesting hexagons die. Sorry about all the mess you're seeing at the sides here, ladies and gents. Then we've got our floral decorations die. This is where it all goes wrong. Let me whip that one out, those out of the way. Floral decoration, Christmas floral decorations die. Then we've got our snowflake panel and border, ideal for the smaller little cards that we all make. Classy card for a classy girl, Amanda. And then last but not least, our holly sprigs die. So you get the 2, and as I said, they're flexible, so you can move them, you can make them fit the larger, the smaller, however you want. So they'll all work. Linda says, beautiful card, and as you say, a good batch card, thanks. It is a really easy batch card to make, because you can do it all in such easy stages. Such a simple card, but so effective, I think, personally. And I do like white on white, so that kind of makes it pop for me. If you make this yourself, you'll see what I mean by this frame. It really does make it pop out, and I don't, maybe if I'd have gone around it with a red pen or something, but I think that would have spoilt it. But I'm really desperately trying to get you to be able to see that frame all the way, but I don't know if you're going to be able to. I'll try and make it sure when I take a picture of it you can maybe see that frame a bit easier. I can't guarantee it, but that is it. So now you get me again, my hot red rosy face. Whew, it is hot and red and rosy. So what have we got to tell you? So you've all seen the new Christmas release. So we're on TV with this next Tuesday, the 15th of July at 1 PM and 6 PM. So we're your first craft show of the day, and then you can sit down and have your tea watching me too. Of course, Maria has asked if she doesn't do the embossing, can she put glitter paste instead? Of course you can. Whatever paste you've got will work just as easily. I don't have glitter pastes, so that's my way around it. I'm glad you can see it. Liz says she can just about. When you recreate it, Liz says she can just about see the frame. Amanda says when we recreate it, we will see it. Yes, you will. So yeah, again, Maria, if you have got glitter paste and that's what you want to be using, feel free. The stencils work with all of those pastes that are available on the market as well. So that's entirely up to you. So what else do we need to talk about? So we are TV on the 15th, which I've told you. Our next Facebook Live is the 24th of July. That will I don't think that will be a new release, but it might be. I'm trying to work it out because then the next TV is the before. Yeah, it might be another release. Yes, Bev, you can see a rerun. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can go back in and watch them. If you want to watch it on YouTube rather than Facebook, you just need to go in to Honeydew Craft YouTube, and then when you click in there, I think it's got videos or lives, and you'll need to go into the lives if you want to watch it tonight. And then we'll upload it onto the videos tomorrow or Saturday. Depends how we get on. Yes, Amanda, the summer holidays would have begun by then. So yeah, we are Facebook Live Thursday the 24th of July at 7 p.m. Then our next event, believe it or not, is TV again. That is on the 6th of August at 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. So that one we've only got an hour's turnaround. It'll be Essentials, Amanda. It won't be Christmas. We're just doing the one Christmas, I think, this year. And then we are at the Lee Sincerely Yours show on the 10th of August. So July is more TV and catching up. New releases, new designs done. Our August release is already done. So yeah, busy. We may bring in a couple of Christmas stamps. Jules has asked if we're doing any more Christmas stamps. We may bring in a few, but they will probably only be website, not TV releases. So hopefully that'll make sense. That makes perfect sense. Maria said she doesn't have a large die cut machine. So obviously to use the larger dies, the background border, the snowflake background border, and our stencils through a die cut machine, you do need an A4 sheet machine, just so that you've got the heads up on that. Yeah, I think that's everything. I don't think I've got anything else to tell you. Blimey. So you know it's a quick card because I've literally did it from start to finish. I didn't cut anything out in advance. All I did was stick my berries on in advance. So you know how quick and easy that card is to make. Batch them, make them, done. Boom. If anybody's got any questions, please feel free. They are all now in stock and all available to order on our website. We did add to our order, so we have had a little bit more extra in. So they're available. Give us a shout if anybody's got any questions or needs anything answered. If not, you'll see us on TV next Tuesday at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. Have a lovely evening. Enjoy this lovely weather while we've got it. You never know how long it's going to last here in the UK. Have fun and see you all again soon.